AITA for asking that my cousin wears clothes around the house. Trigger warnings: child neglect, drug use, attempting suicide, death. Suicidal ideation. I got removed from my parents' house by social services last week because my mom is going through some issues at the moment, and is too depressed to leave her bed. I was first placed in a group home for foster children, though I don't think I'm a foster child because my mom is still caring for me. She is just going through something at the moment. I personally think I would have been fine staying at home because I'm very mature for my age, everyone tells me. But my grandpa reported my mom to social services, which is why I got removed. After being at the group home for a few days, my uncle finally got permission to take me in for a while until my mom is better. I don't know my uncle that well, he's my dad's brother, and since my dad died I haven't really had much contact with his side of the family. My uncle lives with his two sons who are 11, Oliver, and 9, Jamie. I've had to start sharing a room with Oliver, and Jamie shares with my uncle since there are only 2 bedrooms in the house. I hate this because at my proper house I have my own room and I just don't understand why I can't stay there. I've had to be removed from school because my uncle lives so far away and they're not able to get a place for me until September, which means I am just sitting at home doing nothing all the time. I just hate it here. When we're home, Oliver never wears clothes, sometimes Jamie too, but he usually wears underwear. But the second that Oliver gets home from school he just strips completely. It makes me feel so uncomfortable and weird because why does he feel he can expose me to that? I don't like seeing it, and it's just weird. I mentioned this to my uncle and he basically told me to deal with it, and that this was Oliver's house first. I told him that I think it's weird and it makes me feel uncomfortable. He doesn't understand how much of a change this has been for me. I don't even want to be here, and it's so weird that Oliver just won't wear underwear at least. It's not like it's a big deal. I don't want to see him undressed all the time. Especially when I invited my friend Max over, Max felt so uncomfortable that he left early when he was meant to stay for the entire day. I'm not allowed to go over to his house, which just makes it worse because now it's ruining my friendships. Top comments. How old are you? Reach out to your social worker and explain that everyone in the new house walks around naked and you don't feel comfortable there. They will most likely try to find some other accommodation. It will not be a quick fix though. OP, I'm almost 15. Commenter, you will not be allowed to live alone. But they may be able to move you to another home. Keep pushing for it. If the social worker will not harassed by your cousins and uncle by being forced to see them naked, you can go so far as to say your uncle supports it. It may get messy and your family will blame you. Don't let them make you feel bad for this. You did nothing wrong and are having a bad situation forced on you because of mistakes others made. None of this is your fault. You will survive this, and you can potentially have a better life if you are able to separate yourself from them. Comment. I am so sorry you are going through this. It sounds really hard. Is there a social worker monitoring your foster placement? I'm wondering if there is any adult other than your uncle you could speak with about this. OP. I don't really have anyone else. I have my grandpa, but he's not responding to me. Commenter. Any way you can live with grandpa? OP. No, I can't. I was told it wasn't a suitable placement for me. Commenter. Why can't you stay at your grandfather's house? OP. I don't know, but for some reason they told me it wasn't a suitable placement, whatever that means. I can't even contact him, so I have no clue. Commenter. Likely means they asked grandfather, and he declined. Update 1. My uncle and I spoke about my cousins, and my uncle for once I think was really nice and reasonable. He apologized to me and said he was stressed with work and all the change and he shouldn't have taken it out on me. He said he shouldn't have said it was Oliver's house first because now it's all our house. He said he's going to tell my cousins that they need to wear underwear around the house or a dressing gown. I told him I really was feeling lonely and depressed and that I wanted to get back into school. So we went back to my social worker and told them I really wanted to be put back in school and I'm feeling really depressed just sitting around the house. They managed to find me a place at a local school which I started last Monday. Things have gotten better and over the last few days I've been trying to organize a meetup with my mom, but she isn't answering my texts/calls and I'm getting a little worried about her. Last year I found her overdosed and had to call the ambulance, and I'm really worried she has done something to herself again. I've texted and called my grandpa also, but he's not responding. Does anyone know what I can do? Can I call the police to go and check on her? Top comments. I'm glad to hear things are a little better. Are you from the UK? If so, call the police on 101 and ask for them to do a welfare check on your mother. Give the details that you are in foster care and that you have caught your mother attempting to commit suicide in the past. They should do a check and update you/your social worker who will update you. OP, thank you. I'll do that on the walk home from school today. My lessons start in 10 minutes, so I won't be online again. Talk to your uncle about your worries about your mom. He is your guardian temporarily. You should also have a caseworker assigned to you. I suggest talking to both of them about your worries about your mom. Either one of them can call the police on your behalf regarding a welfare check. Unfortunately, the police don't always take minors seriously in these kinds of situations. OP, I think someone told me in the last post that my social worker is my caseworker cause. I think caseworker is just the American term for it, but I'm not sure. Okay, I will get back in contact with my social worker today if I can't get the police to do anything. Commenter. Okay, are you in the UK? In that case, I think your social worker should be the one to contact. They can contact the community mental health team if necessary. I wish you all the best. It must be awful being so worried about your mom. OP, yeah, I am. It's all I can think about at the moment, so it's really worrying me. I just keep reliving the day I found her. I'm really mad at my grandpa cause he's the reason I've already been forced to be removed from my mom, so I can't look after her, and now he's not even responding to me. Update 2. My uncle and I had a huge argument, and he ended up throwing me out, which I don't know, maybe is a good thing. I didn't really like living with him. Currently I am with a very nice old lady and her other foster child. I finally managed to get in contact with my grandpa and I got an update about my mom. She's in hospital at the moment. She tried to end her own life again. I really feel awful, especially because I wasn't there to protect her. I know everyone here says it isn't my job to protect my mom, but if I were there she wouldn't have done this. I would have been there. I don't know how well she is and they aren't letting me visit. I asked my grandpa about why he took me away and then stopped responding to me and why he started to ignore me. He said he just didn't know what to say and that I was so angry at him. I am really angry. But I still wanted to talk to him. I don't really think Reddit is good for my mental health. People were sending me pretty horrible things to my DMs and telling me my mom had killed herself to get away from me. So I might not respond to any more messages and I'm not going to post any more updates. Comment. It sounds like the grandfather is trying, but OP is lashing out whenever they talk. I don't know what to say, you are just so angry. From the grandpa, the OP stating they know they are very angry but still want to talk is a tough one. I can see why the grandfather stopped answering calls if every exchange was OP screaming at him about how he ruined OP's life. Plus it sounds like the grandpa has his hands full with his mentally ill daughter. I don't see how everyone failed him. The mother was incapable and mentally ill, so OP was removed. Placed in foster care, but a family member took them in quickly. Similar-aged boys sharing a room and a complaint about not wearing clothes, especially if it was very normalized before OP lived there, may have not seemed significant to the uncle at the time. He rethought it, apologized, and tried to make changes. OP never said what led to him leaving uncle's house, but he admits to being very angry. He talks a lot about why he just doesn't understand why he can't go home, and it is very possible he engaged in some sabotage of the situation, thinking if he got kicked out they would let him go home. Social workers are checking in on him and got him enrolled in school. More than everyone, failing him, I think he is a victim of very unfortunate circumstances. Dead dad and mentally/emotionally incompetent mother. OP, you're just making up random shit about me. I haven't lashed out at anyone. My grandpa has not responded to me at all since I was removed, and my messages to him consisted of hi, hello. How's mom? Could I get my uncle to drop me off to visit mom? Hi. I didn't lash out at him. I never lash out at anyone. One thing I never do is lash out because that's what dad used to do and I know how it makes everyone else feel. My grandpa didn't respond to me because he assumed I was upset at him, which I was. I never told him. I never lashed out at him or anyone else. OP never said what led to him leaving uncle's house, but he admits to being very angry. Again, you're just making things up in your head to blame me, insinuating that it's my fault I was kicked out because I was angry. Saying I sabotaged it? I have never sabotaged anything. Nothing that has happened to me has been my fault, nothing. I do everything I can to make the people around me happy, everything. All the time. And I get nothing back. And yes, I asked my uncle's family to wear some underwear around the house. Jesus, is that so much to ask? No one puts me first, no one. The only person who even cares about me is my mom, and she's going to kill herself, and I can't even do anything to help her. Don't call her mentally incompetent. This is why I said I wouldn't look at the comments. People I don't even know are blaming me for things that didn't even happen. You're literally making things up in your mind to justify blaming me. I don't understand why people do this to me all the time. Commenter 2. Good God, honey, even if you had lashed out, you have so much reason to not be okay right now, and the people sending you messages and being shitty to you are the ones who are mentally and morally incompetent. You are under too much stress for a person so young. I hope the people you are staying with now are nice, and you can lean on them some. I'm on the wrong side of the ocean, but I'm still a mom, and I would message you if you need to talk. I hope the hospital helps your mom get better so you can be back with her at home soon. Take care, and I knew I shouldn't have read the comments, yet I still did, and it just made me more upset. I'm glad there are kind people out there like you and like my new foster carer, who by the way is really kind and nice to me and is really trying to get me to see my mom. I've only been with her for a little while, but I feel like someone is finally taking my side and understanding how I feel. I'm embarrassed to say, but I cried so much yesterday, and she was there just helping me, and that's something I've never had before. I've never had someone make me hot chocolate and let me pick a film, and we just sat and watched it. I'm really hoping that this continues. Update 3. Some people were again mean and negative about me in the comments, like people just assuming I was violent and lashed out at my family. I don't do that, just setting the record straight. I never did that, not one. I think I was disrespectful to one commenter I replied to. They were assuming things about me and I was angry and disrespectful to them in my reply. I won't tag them in case they don't appreciate it, but I want to apologize to them. I'm sorry. I want to spread positivity and happiness, not negatively. I also took the advice of someone in the comments to turn off my DMs because that's where the really nasty or perverted people were messaging me. I am currently living with Jay, the old lady foster carer I told you all about. She is very nice. She's made me feel really welcome in her home, and she's been fighting for me to be able to see my mom in person. I feel like I finally have someone fighting in my corner. For the first time in a long time I feel really positive and happy. She even drove 30 minutes to pick up my friend from my old school so he could visit. I felt really guilty but she acted like it was no big deal at all. I really hope things continue how they are and that my mom gets better soon and I can see her. Also I feel guilty being a burden on Jay so much. I tried to clean the house for her when she was sleeping but she came down and sent me to bed. She won't let me do chores for her, which is making me feel so guilty, and my grandpa would always say I would get lazy if I didn't do chores but Jay isn't letting me. I feel so guilty because I feel really happy here. Like I'm more happy than I've ever felt. But I don't understand why, and I feel guilty because I shouldn't be feeling happy while my mom is in hospital. But I do feel happy and then I think of her and grandpa and just feel bad and guilty. I feel like I treat Reddit as my therapist, which probably isn't the best thing to do, but I usually feel better after I've written a post here. I'm going to go to bed because it's 11 p.m. here. Comment. Jay sounds like a true friend. No need to feel guilty. Mom is trying to get better and encourage that as much as you can. Your happiness is great. You're safe and taken care of by a responsible, caring person to other people if you take care of yourself. Jay can show you how. Comment. OP, you're just a kid. Jay wants you to take the weight of the world off your shoulders and remember that for probably the first time in years. Don't worry about doing chores. If you really want to help Jay, offer here or there, make sure you wash your own dish. Small things. Don't keep yourself up at night trying to clean the house. Jay knows what you are going through and wants to help you, and you worrying about being a burden to her isn't helping. Relax. Be a little lazy. Jay sounds like a lovely person. Don't feel guilty for letting her do things to make you happy. Rest in peace, Mom. I'm so sorry I couldn't help you, Mom. I'm so sorry I wasn't enough. This is the hardest thing I've ever had to write. I have no one to talk to. I don't understand why. I don't understand why I wasn't enough. I don't get it. I wish they hadn't told me. I'm just here crying on my bedroom floor. Why would she do this? She promised me she'd stay. She promised me. I feel sick. I feel so sick. OP. Does anyone know if I will be able to stay with Jane? I scared she's going to say I can't stay here now, I don't want to move back in with my family now, I don't like them, I just wanted to be with my mom. I'm panicking because I don't understand where I'm going to go now. Comment. I am so sorry. It's not about being enough. I can't understand the pain you are going through, but I can understand the mind of someone who is tired and done with living on this earth. Depression and suicidal thoughts change you and how you perceive the world you exist in. In most cases you view reality through a warped and irrational lens. When you reach this point in life, no one else can really change your mind, no matter who they are to you. I am sure your mother loved you dearly, and she did what she did despite this. I am sure she hated leaving you behind and she never wanted you to feel at fault, or like you did not do enough. 'Cause the truth is you could not have helped her. Not with this. Only she could have. You did all you could. This is not your fault. I am so sorry. Comment. I'm so sorry for your loss. I have been in a similar situation with regards to the loss of a parent like this, and I am from the UK too. I'm 25 now. Please speak to Jane about her understanding of the situation. In the UK we also have Childline who might be able to direct you to some additional specific support. You can either ring them or do a live chat online, that's what I used to do. And hopefully your social worker can help you with support around grief. It is really shit right now and there is no getting around that. You are allowed and it's normal to be upset about it, and being upset will help you speak with the TAC or ask what the TAC is discussing for you next. This is the team around the child and is made up of professionals that have supported you so far, so it could be the GP, school pastoral teams, the social workers, etc. If you're 15 and have GCSEs this year, don't worry about them either, as you can get extra support later with them. Happy to give more info on that if I can and you need it later. Just try to focus on working through your feelings right now, which you're absolutely entitled to have. Please know it's not anything to do with you. You are a child and looking after adults isn't your responsibility. I really wish you all the best and I'm sending you my deepest and most genuine sympathy. Update 4. It's my 15th birthday today. But I don't feel like celebrating. Since I found out about my mom dying, it's like I feel like a different person. My life just seems to be moving along and I'm not even the one in control. Maybe it's felt like that for a while. I asked Jane to take me to the doctors yesterday because I just don't feel good. He didn't really say much, just that I would be put on the waiting list for some counseling. It's Mom's funeral tomorrow. I'm worried because this is going to be the first time I'm seeing Grandpa since I was living with my mom. I know I shouldn't be concerned about that, but I am. Last time I spoke to him on the phone he seemed so empty. I don't know how to describe it. My uncle and cousins are coming, even though he's not related to my mom, so I don't see why. It's going to be awkward seeing them too after he kicked me out. I tend to do that. My friend asked me to meet up with him, but I just can't because I know that he will ask me about my mom and I just don't want to talk about it. I keep crying randomly, I keep getting thoughts of mom. I wonder what she was thinking about in her last moments. I understand that nothing that happened was my fault. I know it was an illness that she lost. It doesn't make me feel any better. Jane asked me if I wanted her to come with me to the funeral. I said no, but she said she would if I changed my mind. I don't know. The sad thing is no one, except Jane, wished me a happy birthday today. Grandpa didn't even send a text. I shouldn't judge. He's probably just overwhelmed. I don't even really care anyway. I thought about doing what my mom did, only briefly. I don't know if I believe there is an afterlife. But I really hope so. I hope somewhere out there my mom is finally happy. I know this is nerdy, but I like the idea of death, of the endless books coming and taking her away. Someone kind and soft. Making her feel at peace. I hope that's what it was like. Someone who would sit and take their time with her, like I used to. How do you break the news that your mom has died to your friend without it becoming a pity party? I thought about just sending it in a text, but it feels like my mom deserves more than that. I can't sleep.